Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well and staying safe. For this video, we'll be going through an unboxing of the high-grade 12144 Crossbone Gundam X, I'll say 0, although the name is also apparently the Crossbone Gundam Ghost. And this particular kit is from Mobile Suit Crossbone Gundam, which I believe is probably more of a manga more than anything else. And this particular kit was actually released back in 2018. So this is actually a bit of a reprint of the kit from back then. Mainly because one, it says 2018 here, but two, this is the new Bandai Namco label, which has only started coming up in probably the past year. So going through an unboxing of one of the many Crossbone Gundam variants, which I'm pretty sure is going to be a repeat of a lot of other Crossbone releases, which is fine, but I will admit I think this one definitely caught my eye, if only for the weapons. Yes, I was literally singled out by the weapons and I thought they look really cool. Anyway, front of the box of the Crossbone Gundam Ghost. So we have a shot of the actual Crossbone Gundam itself, another image here as well, and in its monochromatic box, yeah, we can't expect too much thereafter other than some big wording and a bit of a rehash of the front cover. Now, I will admit, it is using the high-grade Universal Century type of boxing layout, so there you go. And that's not too surprising given I think the Crossbone Gundam is within the general Universal Century lineup, I believe. Opening up the box, what can we expect to see? A scary sticker sheet as always, but that's okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bags of runners. We have one for the cloth, and we do have a manual, which surprisingly enough is not the usual P-Bandai look. So now that I've been coloured intrigued, I'm going to open up all these bags and then we can have a better look at the runners and the manual. And with everything now out of the bags, here we have the front of the manual, which I'm actually quite surprised is well and truly not a usual P-Bandai manual because there is a collar. And it's also still somewhat in the typical high-grade UC format. And we do have some nice little blurbage here at the bottom as well. Definitely a very nice look of the Crossbone Gundam in that very nice looking metallic silver. So that's the front. On the back, so go through the various armaments, which being a Crossbone Gundam there is plenty of. We also have a color guide as well, which is very nice, so it's good to have that broken down. So there'll be white, silver, bit of yellow, some light grey, metallic red, and some standard flat grey as well. Now, in terms of the rest of the manual, so it looks like the rest of the manual will be your typical high-grade build steps. Quickly looking at the parts list. So, good amount of parts. Granted, they're not all complete full-sized runners, so it does carry on for a few letters of the alphabet, but some of those runners are quite small. Otherwise, in terms of the build, it is pretty much a stock standard high grade. Starting with your usual main torso build, looks like there will be some options to consider for the eye potentially, or eyes, head, arms, going through the legs and everything. So yeah, there's no real surprising components of the build. Now, if I remember correctly, the Crossbone Gundam is also not a very tall Gundam, but it does look like it'll have a very intricate build. So that's very nice. So we're going through the build, going through the weapons component, which is probably going to be longer than some of the other build steps, which is fine. And then we wrap up with some of the manual going through how to attach different weapons, how they can be stored, and things like that. The core booster, attaching the cloak, and yeah, you've suffice to say, Crossbone Gundam does have a good amount of playability with it, which is always a good thing. So that was the not so typical manual, and I will admit, having that front and back page like that's actually kind of cool. It's a shame that they don't normally do that for all P Bandais. Going through the rest, we have a standard sticker sheet, a few color correcting stickers to be expected, but that's okay. It's still relatively small, so this should hopefully be easy to work with. As for the runners, here we go. A runner in a silver, which actually doesn't look too bad. Do have a little bit of detailing opportunities as well. There's also some very small, well, I won't say fine pieces, but definitely some smaller pieces, such as the weaponry to build. So that's the A runner. Going into a B runner, which I dare say feels a bit like a bit of a purple grey, shadow grey. Well, to me it looks like shadow grey. The camera might have it come up as a grey. But once again, various parts, weapons, armaments, hands, joints, and the like. And seriously, some of these joint pieces do look like they actually feel they're on the smaller side of things. But that's okay. C runner in silver once again. We have no D, but we do go to the E runner, which is actually in a very nice metallic red. Actually very, very nice. F runner, which surprisingly is pretty much effect parts. And that's in a usual effect translucent pink type color. G1, in fact, because there's also G2. So G2 is just a copy of the top half of G1. Both G runners are in silver, and we will have a good amount of different pieces to work with. It looks like we'll have back to the core booster and things like that. So that's the two Gs. We do have H1 and H2. H2 is a functional copy of the top half of H1. Back into this weird, well, I won't say weird, but back into this shadow grey type colour. That's the two H runners. We have a single L runner back in silver. A multicolour M runner with a bit of silver and white. Particularly that nice little skull and crossbone. For the sake of the video, I will actually try and do that right side up. So that's the M runner. And then we have two N runners, which actually are also another set of multicolor runners. So N1 and N2. So N2 is probably half of N1. It has some extra pieces, which isn't too bad. So N2 will have this two yellow pieces. N1 does not, but N1 will have some of these metallic red pieces and an extra piece. Otherwise, the other, and all these white pieces as well. Otherwise, N2 and N1 will share some of these greys, the pink effect parts, and these white pieces here as well. So that's actually not a bad multicolor runner between the greys, the whites, the metallic red, the golden yellow, and things like that. So that's pretty cool. So that's the two ends. And then to wrap things up, we do have a standard grey polycap. Emphasis on standard. We do have a PVC wire, which I'm sure will give me some level of PTSD in a moment. And lastly, seems like I already scuffed it, is the cloak, which for some reason, if you look at it long enough, reminds me of a ghost trying to scare people. Yes, be very careful with this, because I did take it out of the bagging thinking it'll be fine. I did keep it on the board, but it looks like it will scuff with some relative ease, so I would recommend keeping this on its own and or wedging it between something to keep it unmarked. So that brings us to an end of the unboxing of the high grade 1 to 144 Crossbone Gundam Ghost, or X-0. I actually quite like the colour range in this one. Granted, silver's not exactly brand new for the Crossbone, but it does look quite good, and it does look like it shouldn't be too bad to actually work with, but obviously time will tell. Good amount of weapons to use with the Crossbone Gundam. That's definitely nothing brand new, but yes, it's nice to see a good amount of playability with a single kit between the weapons, the cloak and things like that. So yes, definitely looking forward to building this. And I do feel like I've looked at a Crossbone Gundam before, I just can't remember where. Anyway, it'll come back to me one day. I didn't mention this at the beginning of the video, because it is a P Bandai. This was not from Hobbylink. This was sourced from another area. I'll see what Crossbone Gundams are available at Hobbylink in terms of what's actually listed retail wise, and if there's anything of interest I will put them into the description. Thank you very much for watching this unboxing video. Feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. All of this does help support the channel, and I do greatly appreciate it. Extra content can also be found on my Instagram account, linked below. Stay safe and take care, and I will catch you all in a future video. See ya.